KKHT wants you to meet the classiest guys in real estate.
This is Tim O'Neill, the icon of insurance.
I'm Chris Kelso, the Meister of Mortgage.
And I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate. And together we are
the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate in the greater Houston area is hot.
So whether you're buying, selling, owning, or insuring real estate in the greater Houston area,
you need to check us out as we are the preeminent source for everything you need to know.
And now, they're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. The Real Estate Rat Pack.
Good morning, Houston. I can't get enough of Uptown Funk.
I know, Uptown, I can listen to that. It's amazing. And he even came out again in the Super Bowl. And
did it again?
I mean, it was great. It's just such an
but you cannot be in a bad mood after listening
song.
to that. Absolutely.
That
So we got some shout-outs. Our own Tim O'Neill we have a shout-out for.
You know, last week, Tim O'Neill was not here with us because he was up in Austin. There were the TAR winter meetings.
Texas Association of Realtors. So.
That is correct. And then WCR did their meetings up
Women's
there.
Council of Realtors.
Which is the Women's Council of Realtors.
We have a lot of acronyms.
Yes, yes.
That is correct. And
we now have an acronym within an acronym, which is TRED, you know.
Right, right. We've got CB in the house, which is the great Christy Borden, by the way. That's who you're hearing.
I like being my own acronym.
But Tim won the President's Choice.
That's just not a win. That's like the President's personal choice recognized throughout the state. That's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
it was very touching. And Kathy Mitchell was our president last year, and to win that, well, to be given that by her, you're right. You don't win that. You know, that's something that's a personal thing. It was very touching. And
you didn't do anything like cry or anything, did you?
Well, you know, I did. We're very touchy feely.
You had to turn in your,
and I'm the WCR guy, and yes, those are my people.
You may have to turn in your man card. I'm sorry. Yeah, just saying.
Wow.
Turn in the man card.
All of a sudden, I turned into a Dean Martin roast here.
That's all right. Rob will show you where his card is too.
We all have our moments, don't we?
He turned his in a long time ago.
So, anybody else we need? Because we've got a pretty hot topic today.
We have a great topic. I want to shout out to all those individuals who have committed this week, by the way, to become a TREPAC major investor. You know, we had our own Jared Benson commit this week.
Yes, a Permapeer.
That is correct. And then we know that our great Tim O'Neill got a major investor this past weekend.
And you all upped your
and look
investments.
who's talking. Chris Kelso is a major investor. And,
aren't
you an affiliate? An affiliate could be a major investor?
That is correct.
Is
An
that
affiliate
right?
can be a major investor. And this year I upped it to my to $1,500 versus the Sterling R. So I just got my Sterling R pen.
And now they're going to be a diamond R.
That is correct. So
let's explain it to the people out there what we're talking about, because they
TREPAC.
have no clue.
They've never heard of that.
Let's do it.
It's the Texas Real Estate Political Action Committee.
Right.
And
TREPAC.
And if I could share with you guys the mission statement of the PAC.
You may.
Yes.
Is the mission of TREPAC is to raise funds to promote homeownership, protect private property rights, and increase political awareness. Pretty straightforward. That is what we do.
And we are speaking to the past chairwoman, isn't it, of TREPAC, by the way.
Yes.
So this year it's Chance Brown. Last year it was Christy Borden. And let me tell you, Christy, I appreciate you being on board today because you're a great individual. You hang out with the Rat Pack. You're very involved with the Political Action Committee, but also real estate in general.
Guess who was number one last year as far as contributions for city?
Let me guess. Houston.
That would be Houston.
And how much? What was that number?
$4.3 million. Oh, that's a state.
That's a state.
$4.3 million in the state.
But the
Houston
city of
was
Houston
$906,000.
A record.
Congratulations.
Now, I've got to give a little background on Political Action Committee. I was vehemently opposed to PACs because I thought that was your buying votes and things like this. But what I've become aware, now that I've been to Washington, D.C. 15 and 16 times, about to go again, is that we support people who support private property rights, and we are always on the right side of the issue. So it is education. These congressmen and senators are always making decisions. They got to have the facts.
Right.
And a lot of times, you know, like they're still trying to take away the MID, which is the mortgage interest deduction.
More acronym.
It comes up all the time. That would impact home ownership quite a bit. And we're fighting to make sure that we maintain the MID.
There's a lot of misunderstanding about what a PAC does. And political action committees collect contributions from many people, meaning the membership class. they aggregate those contributions into one fund, and they donate to campaigns for or against. And there are 3 items, either individual candidates, and a lot of this based on those candidates' past performance and how they understand the mission of the PAC. Another one is ballot initiatives, a lot like Prop 1 and those things that have passed, and actual legislation that could be harmful to, in our instance, private property rights.
We had a huge and successful year last year with our legislature. We only have a part-time legislature. They only mess with us every 2 years.
Thank
But there
goodness.
was Proposition 1 was a huge win for us. We fought very hard, had a statewide campaign, I think, through media. And what that did for everybody out there listening who are homeowners is that it raised the homestead exemption to $25,000.
By
It was
$10,000. Yep.
That was $15,000. But the other thing is, every time there's a legislative period, legislators are looking for more money,
Right.
We have a
and they want to do a transfer tax. Every time you sold your home, there would be a little fee, but it's that camel's nose under the tent.
Right.
So once you have a little fee, it never goes away, and it always seems to grow. So part of Prop 1 also was forever banned would be a possibility of a transfer tax.
Yeah.
we have
I
a caller
love
who is
it.
We have a
particularly
caller.
interested
We
in
do
that
have
subject.
a caller
Do you know
on
who's on
board
the
with
line?
us right there. One of the things we tell everybody is we got to make sure we put on our headsets so we can hear everybody. I'll make sure Christy has hers. But we've got Vicky calling in. Vicky, how you doing?
Vicky, are you with us?
Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
you with
Vicki.
us?
Yes, I'm here.
Is this the Vicky
The
Fullerton?
Vicky, sure it is.
This is the Vicki Fullerton from Montgomery County.
Well, and then also chairman-elect for the Texas Association of Realtor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. And I have the privilege of sitting with Congressman Kevin Brady, the chair of Ways and Means here in Montgomery County. We are involved in a multi-challenge race. Forces are trying to unseat Kevin, and so we're rallying the forces here at the Black Walnut in the Woodlands.
Well, he's been a great proponent of private property rights, and I hope that he prevails in his race because we would hate to lose him. He may not remember this, but we were in Washington D.C. He's the one that gave me the flow chart on Obamacare, and I've been carrying that chart around ever since then, showing it to people.
And showing it to everybody.
Hey, I tell you, this is Kevin right here. How are you doing?
Doing great,
Good
Kevin.
morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us on the show.
So
No, thank you. But yeah, that was we actually went for 4 months, went through every line of that horrible bill and tried to put a organization chart together to show just how bureaucratic and complex and bad this law was going to be. So, and it's just exactly what we predicted.
yeah, and yeah. That's one of the times you kind of wish you weren't right, isn't it?
Yeah, no kidding. And it's really hurt, as you know, it's really hurt a lot of small businesses, hurt a lot of patients, and people now they're finding out that even with all the subsidies, it's too costly. They can't see the local doctors. The medicines they used to be on aren't covered. And so I think for every person in Texas who's eligible, or every 2 people that are eligible for all the subsidies, one of them is no thanks. I'd rather pay a tax and get into that mess. So it's really, we're finding hard ways. Ways is going to be leading the effort to replace it with the new president, and so we're excited about really taking it back and giving people more power rather than Washington.
Yeah, it's almost like it was destined to, and of course we have one of our Tim O'Neill here, who's our insurance guru. We talked about it almost like it was designed to fail because I think what the opposition wants is a single payer system.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I think that's why we were fighting the architecture so hard, because you set this thing up to where the private sector really can't provide that health care. There's fewer choices, and when it collapses, people say, well, the government just we didn't go far enough. And so it is, yeah, and you see that in this Democrat presidential campaign. They're both talking that direction.
Congressman Brady, this is Christy Borden, and I work with Vicki a lot on the
Yeah.
PAC side. We truly appreciate you, and one of the things that our listeners here may not understand is we actually vet our legislators to, make sure they're doing the right thing with private property rights. And the reason that you've had our continued support is because you have stepped up. You understand we're here to protect the consumer. And there really is not another advocacy group on behalf of the consumer other than the Realtor Association, and so we appreciate you and just wanted to explain why you have our support.
You're right. You guys are terrific. You keep private property rights at the forefront of every issue up there, and also you fight to keep government thinks they're trying to do good, but what they end up doing is making it harder for people to get loans. Driving up the cost of closing and the homes themselves, appraisals, and so to make it tougher for local banks to lend. And so, and then with the regulations, they drive up the cost of the house themselves. All the new regulations, all that. So, man, they say they're for the consumer, but you guys always make the case. You're really making it harder for families to get into that first home, and certainly harder for them to upgrade as well.
Well, and by the way, if you could ever get CFPB either A, to go away, or B, at least be accountable to somebody, that would be a good thing.
It really would. They get their own source of money from the Federal Reserve. They have no oversight from Congress. They can do whatever they want to do. And I think, I don't know if you agree, is whenever the government says they're looking out for your wallet, man, hold on to your wallet.
What was it? Reagan said, "Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help." Is the scariest sentence in the English language.
We all know differently, but too, you guys are such a part of the economy and the community. I mean, before I went to Congress, I was the Chamber of Commerce executive in Beaumont before I came to the Woodlands area, and I got to see the real estate community involved in every important thing in our community, building it, helping it grow, helping our heroes, our veterans, our military, and just giving back. In fact, we just talked to TAR, one of the honorees, who gives a quarter of all our closing to help our local heroes. It's amazing.
Yeah, Congressman, you've got a public venue right now. What would you like the public to know, and maybe what kind of challenges that you're facing, and the message that you'd like to leave them with?
Yeah, my message is this country's on the wrong track, but we can turn it back around. I have no doubt about it. We're going to have to tackle the big issues, and that's why I just got elected the third Texan ever to lead the House Ways and Means Committee in 226 years. And it's an opportunity to fix this broken tax code so people can keep more of what they've earned. It's a chance to save Social Security, Medicare, the really important programs. They're not built to last. We've got to act now to do it. And then replace Obamacare and reform welfare so people can get back to work, actually get out of the government paycheck and back in the workforce. Those are the big issues that we get to tackle, Ways and Means. So it's really, I'm excited about the chance to work up there for our folks back here to make some of those big changes.
Well, those are some huge challenges, and I do know that we can reverse some of the damage that has been done. It's just going to take a while, and it's going to take a lot of work.
It will, and we're going to need a new president to do it. But I tell you what, as angry and frustrated as everyone is, and I am too, I also haven't seen the problem yet, that if we just put our back into it, we can't solve. And that's what I always keep in mind. We are America. We can do anything we choose to do, and I think we can turn things around.
Well, I absolutely wholeheartedly agree. So, but we're going to come up to a break right here. Vicki, is there anything that you'd like to add on to that?
No, we just need to keep Kevin standing for us. So he stood with us over all of these years. Now we just have to stand for Kevin.
Yeah, well,
right. Absolutely.
And Congressman, you've got someone there who's probably one of your biggest advocates. You're sitting right next to her.
Oh man, no, don't I know it?
Right.
The best.
And thank you for Vicki. Thank you for everything that you do for the consumer.
Thank you.
In the history of bad ideas, we have one here. Let's primary the Ways and Means chairman. There's a good idea.
There you go.
I mean, seriously, people, what are we thinking out there?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you
Likewise.
all so much.
Thank you all very much for calling in. We're going to go to the break right now. We have Marv waiting to get on the phone call and another phone call waiting as well. So both of y'all stay tuned. We're going to take a break, but we'll be right back.
Don't go away.
I don't like it. I love it, love it, love it. Uh-oh. So good it hurts. I don't want it. I gotta have it.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Down Under Pools can help make your backyard a focal point for luxury outdoor living. Imagine coming home from a hard day's work and enjoying the evening in a spa-like environment with pool, water features, and lighting integrated seamlessly into your home and landscaping design. Down Under's design team has a seasoned eye for color, scale, proportion, and detail. Even more important is Down Under's commitment to the highest quality construction practices to achieve the highest standards of hydraulic and structural integrity. Down Under is one of the most creative and trusted pool and landscape builders in Houston because of their award-winning design and construction and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Visit downunderpools.com to see examples of what could be in your backyard. That's DOWNUNDA pools.com. Down Under. Pools for the mind, body, and soul. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Houston. Over 400 trained professional realtors here to serve your needs in 21 locations in Houston and across the state. Whether you're buying, selling, or leasing, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties is the smart choice. Check us out at andersonprops.com today. Find out why so many choose Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties for all of their real estate needs. You know us, we know real estate.
No, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home. It's been a long night here and a long night there, and these long, long legs are damn near everywhere. Hold up now, you look good. I will not.
Those long, long legs are everywhere. Let me tell you.
Another song you can't be in a bad mood after
You
you listen to.
cannot be in a bad mood when that song comes
We've
back
got
in.
callers waiting. So
we do have callers waiting, so we're going to get right into them. I guess first up we have Mary. She is on the line. Mary, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
We're doing great. We're doing great. It's been a while since you've been on the show.
I know. So I was just wondering, what's the current inventory of homes in the Woodlands at this point?
We know somebody is here in the studio, and she immediately saw the question, because for those who listen to us, the question gets prompted up on a screen, and Christy immediately went out there and said, I'm going to go ahead and take care of this question. So, Christy, we'll let you take over.
Well, I am also not just a volunteer, but I am a realtor, so and I work a lot. So, of course, I saw a question that I could help you with. Interesting enough, the MLS stats just came out this week from HR, and over the city, the months of inventory had kind of fluctuated between 3.0, 3.5, meaning how many months it would take to get rid of all the inventory you have. And it settled down to an average about 3.3. Interesting is that the Woodlands is right there. It's 3.2. I looked at from year on in, from last year to this year, 3.2 months of inventory. And then I pulled up the specific stats on the Woodlands. Right now, Woodlands in general, we're talking new homes, resale homes, everything. You've got about 453 homes listed right now. Mm-hmm. And interesting enough, if you look at the solds for the last 6 months, the days on market for the solds averaged about 80 days. But we're looking right now, and the average, and it does include new construction, which does skew the numbers a bit, but it's 103. So that's a different story from what's sold and what we hear. And I'm telling my clients now on the west side of town is that it depends on what segment of the market you're in, what your price is. If you're priced, the city as a whole, if you're priced from 1 to 79,000, which is almost impossible to find in our market, the volume of sales have decreased 40% just because they're just that animal is not there anymore. From 80 to 150, it's decreased by 16%, and that's scarcity. They just can't find those properties to buy. The city is losing a bit of its affordability edge. from 150 to 249, sales volume has increased 8.8%. So that is a very hot segment of our market. 250 to 500 decreased just 1%. So it's kind of flatlined at the 250 to 499. And then 500 and above. And this is, you have a lot of luxury inventory and property up in the Woodlands that hit that price point and up. And that has decreased 9.3% in volume. So what that means is probably a little bit longer on the market. Could mean some softening of pricing, or maybe incentive-based offerings to the buyer's agent, these type of things. We haven't seen in our market in a while, but they have returned. And so it's not bad news. It's just different news.
It's not when that person lists the house and they're calling the realtor, my house has been on the market for 2 hours. Where's my 6 contracts? That's not happening out there anymore.
That's not happening anymore. That's too bad.
I got to tell you, 3.3 months is still a seller's market. 6 months is a balanced market. So we still need inventory out there, people. So don't be afraid to put it on the market.
It's a good time to put your house on the market.
Yes, it is.
And of course, I think everyone should stage their home if they really want to get the highest price.
All
for
about
it.
the staging.
Really?
All about the staging.
Well,
Tell me about the staging.
Yeah. How's business, Mayor?
Actually, the staging business is really pretty good right now because with houses sitting on the market a little longer than they were, people are saying, what can I do to differentiate my house? And it's about making that house really look great. We just had a house in actually Glenlock that was on the market for a year. New realtor, we came in, staged that house in less than 4 hours, and she had a full price contract that weekend. And
Well, I'm sitting right next to somebody who is a firm believer in stages every listing she takes and has been doing it since I've known her.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Mary, I always hire a professional stager. I mean, I've taken the courses, I could do it, but I believe in delegating the expertise. And in this market, as we're coming into, it's going to become more and more crucial because buyers are now going to have a little bit more control over what they buy instead of just buying the one home they can get.
Especially in the high end. You get that 700 and up, and they are not going to be flying off the shelf.
And when you look at a seller who's got a lot of money invested and sitting on the market in $1 million or $600,000 home, they need to look at the expenses of that and what it would cost to truly prepare it and sell it versus hold it. And I think your industry, your market is going to be really hot this year. And I encourage all realtors to align themselves with a good stager to get those properties sold. And I think sellers should anticipate that as well.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And I think it's so important because, it's like, as you said, it's generally a person's largest investment. And it's like, when you're going to sell a car, you always go and detail that car. You need to detail your house just like you detail a car for sale.
That's a great example.
Well, and I gave your name out the other day, Mary, to a big producer who was looking for a great stager. So Renee will probably be giving you a call, and she has one she needs you to work on.
Thank you. That's fabulous. Well,
have we made the big announcement?
That's how the Rat Pack rolls, man.
Have we made the big announcement about your
I don't think we made the announcement yet. No.
I don't know if we have.
I'm coming on in April.
In April, we have
New
new sponsor with the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Excited.
Yeah, we're excited too. We're excited too. Yeah. Christy's already positioned me. You got to talk to her about TREPAC.
Yeah. Mary, you set yourself up. You're gonna have you're gonna have a good year in real estate. And I always tell everyone, if real estate has been good to you, you need to be good back to the consumers, and the PAC is the way to go.
There you go.
I would absolutely agree. And you have two major investors from an affiliate perspective sitting right here.
Yeah, and
aside from our two other major investors who are realtors here in the studio.
Well, she's a major investor.
Major.
Yes, major.
I actually serve on the NAR Major Investor Council.
That is the National Association.
That is the National Association of Realtors. So my job is to enroll realtors, member class people, to become major investors because they're the ones who get it.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Mary, we appreciate.
Will be talking.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't wait to join y'all. Okay.
Well, we're looking forward to it, Mary.
Thanks, guys.
You take care.
Thank you very much,
Bye-bye.
Mary.
Great friend.
Yes.
She's a customer of mine. She's an inspiration and now a sponsor.
And
now a sponsor.
Very
of the
involved with
Rat Pack.
WCR. So.
Yep. Very good. We're going right into another caller right here. We have the great Jody Manfred calling in. She is a great agent up on
our very own Jody, isn't it?
Our very own Jody. Jody, how you doing?
Hey. How are my favorite guys in real estate doing this morning?
We're doing awesome.
Doing very good. How have you been this morning?
I'm great. I've really enjoyed listening to the show. You guys are on an important topic today.
Well,
Indeed.
it's one of those things we tell everybody is getting involved with TREPAC, understanding what the Political Action Committee does and how it does it, and the involvement that you can do, not only as an affiliate from my perspective and Tim's perspective, but also as an agent yourself and Rob and Christy.
Here's the
it's
saying.
amazing. Yes.
If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
That is correct. Well, I'm at the table.
You're at the table.
So and Jody and I, Jody and I do a lot of business together. In fact, before we go much further, I do want Jody. She sent me a text yesterday, and I'm going to insert this in here. Talk about that listing you just got. By the way, it looked incredible. I have to say that to her because it's amazing.
It's amazing. We've actually got a couple right now, and that are over there in the gated areas of Kingwood. These gated communities are gorgeous. Kingwood is, in my opinion, the best kept secret of Houston.
It's the livable
and with 99
forest.
opening up, it's a really good commute no matter which way you're going. But that house is at 10 Kings Lake Estates Boulevard. It just went live last night, listed at $1.96 million. This house is almost brand new. It was just recently constructed. It's on almost 2 acres. I can't even hardly explain. I mean, you just have to see it to believe it. It's like rustic, twisted with elegant and luxurious. I mean, it's gorgeous. But please go online and look at it if you're in that price range. We've got that one, and we also have one that's on the water over there that's on 1.5 acres on the lake. Beautiful property, very private. That house has an elevator. I mean, just everything you can possibly want, and it's like a destination at home. It's gorgeous, gorgeous views.
Jody, is that something you can do an open house on anytime soon?
Absolutely. And what I'll do, obviously, is probably not going to be something public, but we're going to do something and invite in, our realtors and brokers and affiliates and let everybody take a look. It's just a gorgeous house, definitely something to be seen. And we don't see a lot of them that are brand new. So it really takes more of a modern, what we're seeing in construction now, feel to it. And I mean, that house is just, it gives you so many ideas. Even if you're not in the price range, it's just gorgeous.
Well, if you do open house, the pack will show up.
We will absolutely show up, by the way.
Well,
whether you want us to or not.
No doubt about that.
Well,
we do have, real quickly, I do have an open house today on the water. Anybody in the Kingwood, Atascocita area. It's at 20242 Atascocita Lake Way from 10 to 2. And that's an open water view, so it's just gorgeous. It's a pretty day to stop by.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, Jody, you dominate up there. It's amazing to see some of the listings that you get and some of the deals you do. I personally appreciate the relationship we have. One of the things, and I know here we have 2 agents here that they want to talk to you about as well is, one of the things that we're talking about today is also TREPAC, and you mentioned it's a very, very important item that we do. In fact, Christy was sitting there, and trust me, you've got the past chairwoman of TREPAC right here. You wanted to do a big shout out to her and let her know how important it is to get involved.
Well, of course, Jody and I, we really appreciate all of our working realtors in the city. With 33,000 members of HAR, you guys are the workhorse of our industry. I just want to ask you, do your consumers understand how important what we're doing is on their behalf? I mean, do you explain that to them?
I really don't think that everybody does understand, but more importantly, it's almost like until you get into a situation, then you start paying attention to what's going on with the legislator, what these issues are, and you start paying attention. Well, and I would like to get more involved if you've got
the magic word.
But let me explain a little bit. Is that the good thing about the PAC is you do not have to pay attention because we have full-time folks watching everything that comes out of the legislature and watching on behalf of the consumer and the industry. And all we ask for you to do is be involved financially if you cannot volunteer.
Don't we have an event coming up in March?
We do. We have a major investor event coming up at Tony's.
She's mine, by the way.
All right.
Okay.
We will see you there, Jody.
Okay, I look forward to it. I look forward to learning more about this. And like I said, it's until you have a situation. I mean, actually, Chris was involved recently. I have a client that had recently purchased a home, was looking at options, and unfortunately, they're not very good. And it all has to do with legislature.
Indeed.
Yep, absolutely. Well, Jody, for all those who are listening who want to go out there and visit and they need to get more information, how can they reach you if you don't mind?
Always on my website. It's the easiest way to look at these properties. It's jodymanfred.com and Jody with an I, JODIMANFRED.com.
Jody Manfred, the great Jody Manfred with the Doug Erdy Group. Jody, thanks a lot for calling in as usual.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. You guys have a great day.
Likewise, and we'll get you an invite to that next major investor
Absolutely.
TREPAC event, by the way. Rob's already got dibs on you. Don't know how that
I look
happened.
forward to it.
I don't get anything for it except for, brownie points. That's it.
Absolutely. Good deal, Jody. Well, thanks a lot. You rock.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you soon.
You too.
Chris, we're coming up against a break.
We are coming up against another break. Time flies. You're having fun, but stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What you wanna do, baby? Where you wanna go?
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138 or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Houston. Over 400 trained professional realtors here to serve your needs in 21 locations in Houston and across the state. Whether you're buying, selling, or leasing, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties is the smart choice. Check us out at andersonprops.com today. Find out why so many choose Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Anderson Properties for all of their real estate needs. You know us, we know real estate.
Protect your number one valued asset, your home. Want to know who home builders, commercial property, and real estate professionals call when they have a foundation issue? PermaPure Foundation Repair of Texas. You can access the same professional-grade services the pros choose, all backed by a lifetime transferable warranty and over 15,000 successfully completed projects. Visit permapure.com. That's permapure.com to schedule your free evaluation today.
Fireball.
I'm here.
We are back. Hey, Andrew, do you want to say hello to Mommy really fast on air? You want to say hello, Mommy? No, you don't?
Really.
Okay. I thought I might be able to get them there really fast.
That's Big Dog's in the house.
That's Big Dog is in the house right here with me. If you check us out on Facebook, you will see all the pictures I've been taking with my son Andrew, who's in the studio with us today. He was like, I want to go see Miss Borden, so that's the reason why he showed up. Yes. So
how do you know?
He knows. But speaking of that, we always talk about between the break. Christy was like, Chris, I didn't know I could talk a little bit about some of my cool listings that I have as well. And I said, Christy, absolutely. So I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
This is a real estate show,
It is a real estate show. So, for those who don't know, obviously, Christy is very involved in TREPAC and very involved in everything going on in the community. But we also support our producing agents, such as Jody, who came on prior to. And you have a lot of good listings going on out there and some really neat things to talk about.
I'm actually very fortunate that a lot of them have sold, but I've got a great one in Cinco Ranch, which everybody knows Cinco Ranch. And it's a 5-bedroom, wonderful home. It's just at 3,800 square feet with a pool, 3-car garage. It's got the trifecta of everything. Beautiful home built by Village Builders. We're going to hold that open tomorrow between 2 and 4. Address is, looking for that, 5214 Red Oak. And so please stop by our open house tomorrow. It'll be great. I've got a couple really great listings in Lake Sabella Terra, which is in Richmond.
Yes.
Fabulous area. And one of them just went under contract. We're very grateful. Still have a 1-story, $265,000, precious home built by D.R. Horton. And so we've got a lot of stuff going on in Katy and West Houston.
That home on Red Oak is actually zoned to OKE school, isn't it? Do you know what school?
No,
do you know which one?
That would be the newest homes over because it's over.
Oh,
off
it's
of
the
Spring
new.
Creek.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's
Yeah.
gorgeous over there. Let me tell you. Obviously having children who go to Katy ISD, it's amazing to see everything that's going on. They just had the boundary modification, as they call it, right there. You've got incredible school zone over there. I would highly encourage you to get out there. That's tomorrow in Cinco Ranch, that open house, correct?
2 to 4. Yep,
2 to
love
4.
to see you out
Should
there.
be a pretty day, too.
On Red Oak.
It'll be a little cloudy, but it's going to be nice.
So, enough of the plug about my real estate. I kind of want to, I guess, get back to the meat of the,
there is
Absolutely.
meat of the
something
potatoes.
I do want to make sure we
Yes.
get out to everybody, understand that when we talk about we are the realtor party.
Right.
And so we end up supporting both parties.
Absolutely.
Because,
Yes.
again, we're about private property rights. If they're on the left and they support private property rights, we're for them.
Well, you know,
So
it works both ways.
Truly, the TREPAC reaches across the aisle. If we could have some of our politicians do what TREPAC does,
Yes.
we'd be in a lot better
Why don't we have a
position.
candidate running for president with the realtor party?
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
And let me explain. Last year at one of our major investor events for the PAC, we had 5 of our 6 U.S. congressmen in attendance. These guys actually get along pretty well when they're left to their own devices. But they were there because every single one of them took the call from us and understand that we are there, pardon me, for the consumer. When the realtors support or do not support an issue, they dig deeper because they know it isn't just about the realtors. It's about the real estate industry in a whole, and that actually affects the economy. So when I hear people go, I just don't want to give money to the PAC because you support X and you support Y. And I'd say, have you seen what X and Y have done for your industry, for your clients, for your largest investment? And it's amazing. We do pay attention to what these folks are doing. And they do not put party before the good politics for private property rights. These are our champions, and we support them strongly,
and
vehemently.
Again, the thing about the PAC is we're not doing it for us as an industry. We're doing it for the consumers. Everything we do is consumer oriented.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, how can you be wrong?
And we're not supporting these social issues that a lot of times are never decided. They're just sound bites to get somebody elected. We look at past records. We have report cards on these guys and actually know what they've stood for, what they've stood against, where they've been every time we've taken the call to them. And those are the folks we support.
And most people don't realize also, because sometimes they might be sitting out there saying, well, how do you do it? You know, how do you do it from a centralized area? And guess what? You have these PALS organizations that are out there, which are the, political action, leagues for lack. I forget what does PALS stand for.
Political Action Advisory Leadership.
Advisory leadership, right? And so they're actually sitting on the outskirts. So you have Montgomery County, you've got Fort Bend County, you have all these other regional ones as well that all feed into the major one, which allows us to be boots on the ground, face to face.
Exactly. Our government affairs, whether it's HAR, Houston Association of Realtors, Texas Association of Realtors, National Association of Realtors, we really have a 4-legged stool. And part of that, of course, is the PAC, then the political affairs, legislative affairs, and issues mobilization. What the public didn't realize, issues mobilization is where we actually can take a local issue, very important, like preservation rights here in Houston, rental registration in Austin. All of these issues that start at city council sound like a great idea, but could have a very negative impact on property rights and your ability to to buy and sell property freely. And then what we do is we work at the state level to look at what our legislators are doing. And at the national level, the only thing that we absolutely stay away from, out of, do not get near, is a presidential election.
Yeah, probably a good move. And still get in trouble the ones we do weigh in
Those
on.
are bought and sold on social issues, not important.
Right. you bring up rental registration.
I agree.
You brought up rental registration.
Yes.
And this has actually occurred when the city council is sitting there looking, where do we get more revenues?
Yep.
That's one of the things they're going after. They're zeroing in. And actually, it happened out in Rosenberg. They actually, I believe, got that passed. It kind of slid it in there.
Yeah,
And
sure,
I don't think people understand what that means. It means if you are owning rental property and you want to lease it to somebody new, the city's going to have to come out and inspect it and approve it. So, what could go wrong type of thing.
Exactly.
Well, and even in Austin, though, they were trying to prevent people renting out their place for the South by, the festival.
South by Southwest over there. I was reading about
exactly.
that.
And so, you want to head out of town, you've got somebody willing to pay you $1,000 for a couple of days, and why not? It is your home. But they wanted to control it. They want to tax it. And they did it through the guise of, well, we need to inspect to make sure that it's safe for you to do so. Well, of course, that inspection will have costs. Correcting the inspection will have costs. And then now that they know you're renting it, they're going to get a tax on it. So that is the government trying to take away your right to openly own and freely sell or do what you wish with your property.
The market takes over because if the property's not in good condition, nobody's going to rent it.
That's right.
So we have a caller.
We have another caller right now. We have the great Michael Roddy calling in. Michael, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Chris. How are you? And Tim and Rob and Christy, hello.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael, hot roddy.
We are doing great talking about TREPAC and all the great things that TREPAC does, not only for the affiliate level, for obviously for the realtors and everybody and the consumer at the end of the day, how they're benefiting from the involvement in TREPAC.
Absolutely, man. I tell you, there's been a lot of great information today. I am waiting on some clients. I'm going to be out showing today. It's a great day out there, by the way.
No kidding. It's beautiful.
Yep.
So it's going to be good to be out there. But just thought I would call in and say hello. And one of the things that I did want to remind your listeners of and remind you guys up there is that the Texas Home and Garden Show is going on this weekend. And, you know, we always talk about talking to experts when it comes to real estate, building, et cetera, and that is a great place to go. I try to go every other year to the show because that's where you've got the most number of experts in the smallest space available. So you can get out there and talk to quite a few people at a time. And we consider ourselves the professionals, the experts in real estate, and people can certainly contact us anytime. But if they are looking to do anything with their property, you were talking about earlier, Christy, getting homes ready to put on the market, and you're right, there is still a low inventory out there. What a great place to go and find out what you can do to make the improvements to give the home the best chance of selling quickly in this market.
Yeah. You know, and you're absolutely right, and that's something we probably don't bring up enough. There's, you know, Houston is being as big as we are. We have some great events that do take place around the city that individuals can go to if they want to do home improvement, if they are looking at getting ideas, et cetera, or as Michael was saying, go into an area which you have a large area of expertise and items you can look at.
All the new cool products coming out, too.
Yes.
They roll them out right there in that exposition, so
yep.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I just wanted to say hello, and I'm going to continue listening until the clients actually walk in the door.
We'll
here,
make them listen too.
Any minute. And great show today, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Hey, Michael, before you go, you all ready for motorcycle school, buddy?
I'm ready for it. Coming up. What do we have? Like about 2 weeks, don't we?
About 2 more weeks on a Monday. That is correct.
My wife
told
found
Chris
that little contract we signed.
actually ordered some goodies yesterday.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
Yes. So I'm ready.
We're going to be out there on our little Yamaha 125, riding around in a circle. So we're going to. Can't wait for that.
That's another whole story.
Rob told me to bring my big wheel as a backup.
The testosterone.
All right, guys. Great show. Talk to you soon.
It sounds great, Michael. Thanks a lot for calling.
Have a great day, Michael. Thanks for calling.
I just wanted to hit for the consumer quickly some of the wins that the realtors have done for you. And in case you weren't aware, one of the big ones in 1997, we fought for the mortgage industry, and we kind of fought the mortgage industry. Sorry, Chris, but we fought to keep Texas safe so that you could never dig into more than 80% of the equity of your home for an equity loan. And I asked people in California how it worked out when they could borrow up to 110%. And then you see what happened when the crash happened. People still, even though they might have used their home like an ATM, they still had equity protection. Other things that we've done, a 1% sales tax. We have prevented the government from taking 1% from every sale. Can you imagine every time a $200,000 home sells, $2,000 would be taxed on top, and then the buyer and seller have to bear that cost. And can you imagine them? Yes, it would have created a lot of revenue, but it would have definitely impacted
I think North Carolina has a 3%.
And once you start at 1, trust me, it keeps. Does anybody know about raising taxes? We prevented a tax on property tax imposed on people who use their vehicles for the production of income. That's not just realtors. That's Mary Kay. That's anyone that drives in their car to make their money. Yeah. It was a huge tax. That was Prop 6. Another one that we've done that was really great is, of course, working on the long-term water plan, the education needs, and the Transportation Act. Your realtors and our association, our affiliates, we work hard to protect the consumer. We want you to know it. It protects us all.
And, you know, let me tell you, you mentioned about obviously the 80% rule here in Texas. I use that as probably the single most important item that has taken place that Texas differentiates itself and has for a long time. Because let me tell you, that helped homeowners during the debacle of 2008 and 2009 of individuals not being in the situation of what you saw California, Nevada, New York, Florida.
And that was a tough fight.
Yes.
I can tell you, TAR, John Nichols at the helm at that time, fought hard for the consumer to protect them. And it might have actually dinged us personally as an industry because especially the mortgage, you couldn't have the big equity loans, but still it was important to the consumer, and that's who matters.
Oh, and that's who matters. And let me tell you, it has benefited them tremendously, and I love it.
We're coming up against a break.
We are coming up against a break again. We have another 15 minutes to go. Man, time flies. You're having fun, and we are having a good time. Subject matter I can talk about
Great
forever.
show.
We're just limited to the airspace. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to finance a new home or refinance your existing home? Look no further. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage. Willow Bend Mortgage is a mortgage banker in the greater Houston area. In business since 1993, Willow Bend Mortgage offers a great array of products from FHA, VA, and USDA loans to conventional and jumbo loans, all with great rates and incredible service from Chris and his staff. Call Chris Kelso at Willow Bend Mortgage today, 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Again, that's 713-256-9138, or online at chriskelso.com. Available 24 hours a day. Great rates, exceptional service. That's Willow Bend Mortgage.
Down Under Pools can help make your backyard a focal point for luxury outdoor living. Imagine coming home from a hard day's work and enjoying the evening in a spa-like environment with pool, water features, and lighting integrated seamlessly into your home and landscaping design. Down Under's design team has a seasoned eye for color, scale, proportion, and detail. Even more important is Down Under's commitment to the highest quality construction practices to achieve the highest standards of hydraulic and structural integrity. Down Under is one of the most creative and trusted pool and landscape builders in Houston because of their award-winning design and construction and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Visit downunderpools.com to see examples of what could be in your backyard. That's DOWNUNDA pools.com. Down Under. Pools for the mind, body, and soul.
Protect your number one valued asset, your home. Want to know who home builders, commercial property, and real estate professionals call when they have a foundation issue? PermaPure Foundation Repair of Texas. You can access the same professional-grade services the pros choose, all backed by a lifetime transferable warranty and over 15,000 successfully completed projects. Visit permapure.com. That's permapure.com to schedule your free evaluation today.
She told me don't worry about it. She told me don't worry no more. We both know we can't go without it. She told me you'll never be alone. I can feel my face when I'm with you.
I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
But I like it.
But I like it.
And it never stopped. Just picking up on what we were talking about before the break, it never stops because State Prop 1 was a great big win for us here recently, and with the increasing the exemption and, of course, the banning of the transfer tax at the constitutional level. And sometimes people look at that and they go, okay, whew, that's done, and we want to take a break and let off the gas. But let's just, because that just means we've shut down one, potential revenue source. But that just means they'll be back because they'll be coming after something.
They're like Arnold.
I'd like to give you a little example. My past, before I was in real estate, everybody has a history before real estate. I was a court reporter, and back in the day, it's a hard business, hard to get into, hard to be really good at, but it compensated you well for what you did and the hours. And well, now because their PAC obviously wasn't as strong as ours, that industry, it's very hard to make a living in that industry. And you look at, I want to talk to the realtors now and realize that everything we do for protecting private property rights helps protect their way of living as well. So I would please urge all of my realtor members, affiliate members, you should be a member of this PAC, and you definitely should consider being at the table and not on the menu.
And there's different levels. You don't have to come in at 1,000 and more. I mean, there are levels that are less than that.
The real estate rat pack likes to strong everybody to $1,000. However,
that's how we roll.
That's how we roll.
Hello, caller. Please state your investment level and what's your cost.
Yeah, $45. If it's a $45, you get 1 second.
Yeah. Right. And for the consumer, ask your realtor. I heard all about this PAC they talk about. Do you support this PAC? Because you know what? If you've got a realtor who's involved and supports it, they are more aware of the industries impacting that property right than the average Joe. And they're somebody you want to work with.
And for me, that goes to part of our licensing act and our code of ethics talks about competency. And I think part of the competency is knowing what's going on in your industry, know what might impact your buyers and sellers.
Right.
I think that's vitally important to know.
And Christy, and both of you can talk about this. A lot of times I have clients that are, that are doctors, that are attorneys, that are, they're involved in whatever party they're involved with, and they know what's going on all those different levels. So they'll ask you, Chris, are you familiar with this? You know how refreshing it is? They'll say, absolutely. In fact, we are doing X, Y, or Z.
Well, and a lot of people don't realize that we actually make trips to Austin. We make trips to the city council here in Houston. We go to D.C. every single year and meet face-to-face with our legislators and with our agenda, which is the consumer's agenda. Make sure that they have they know where we stand. And we also do calls to action. If something's coming up on the floor, we remind them gently, not so gently, by thousands of emails that land on their computer that day of how important it is to the consumer. And so trust me, they will ask themselves, well, what do the realtors think of this before they act?
Yeah, and actually TAR has actually trained. We have
Texas Association of Realtors.
Yes, we've already said that at least once. But they actually, if it's anything to do with real estate, they actually come to us first and say, how are y'all going to look at this? And then they might restructure how they're done. But they do try to sneak some things in there every once in a while because price disclosure comes up every legislative session. It is a non-disclosure state. For those people who receive something that says, what did you pay for this home from the county? Tear it up, throw it away. It's not required. What you paid for a property is not required to be disclosed. But every 2 years, they try to sneak it into a bill somewhere, and sometimes it's very clandestine as to where it is.
Right.
But we have people who are reading 5,000 bills at TAR, and they find it.
Well, and one thing that I need to note, especially with Congressman Brady and Vicki Fullerton, we actually assign what's called FPCs, someone who is a realtor member, very knowledgeable, who knows the congressman, who can call him on his cell and he'll take the call or she'll take the call so that we can make sure that our message gets through the secretary and the pages and the college students who've never owned a home who actually fill in the front desk of these legislators. We have a direct line and we put the best people in charge for that. It's a wonderful program in protecting.
And FPC is Federal Political Coordinator.
Thank you.
So just because we have another acronym to throw out there, just make sure that we keep everybody.
It's kind of like a Tom Clancy novel.
Absolutely.
I don't know if affiliates can be FPCs, Kelso. I think.
It doesn't really. You have to be a member of our association, but the main reason is you have to have that relationship in place with the congressman.
As Vicki does.
The relationship is more important than what you do, as long as you're involved in the industry. But the relationship with the congressman is what gets us in the door to make sure that our mission and message is heard.
Yeah, and our FPC, they actually, if we need to talk to a specific congressperson, that they can actually call, and their call will be taken.
Yes.
And that's the kind of relationship you have to be able to have a voice.
We'll be seeing these people in May, right? I've made my reservation.
Yeah,
for the
we'll
Hill
be in
trip.
D.C.
Tortilla Coast, right behind the Capitol. We have them actually come join us.
And let me explain that. Texas is the only association that has our legislators meet us for breakfast instead of us schlepping through the halls of the Senate and the Congress to go meet all of them. They come together for 2 days and meet with us to understand where we stand on these issues. And it is such a sign of honor to our mission that they make that effort for us.
It's an amazing thing because, when we first started doing this more than a decade ago, we did go to their offices. Then we started doing the breakfast. The amazing thing is we are able to accomplish what the president can't accomplish. We have R's and D's having breakfast together and being nice to each other.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. So I think that,
because they have a common goal, and the common goal is protecting the consumer's private property rights. How can you be on the wrong side of that equation?
Yeah, I would agree.
That's my story.
Yep.
But some are. So it's up to the PAC to protect us and make sure.
Again, when you're looking for revenues, the big one that keeps coming up, of course, is, again, the mortgage interest deduction. And that comes up every legislative period, it seems like, and they want to do away with it, which could be hugely impact people because that, there was a time we used to be able to, all interest we could deduct. Your car, anything, credit card, it's all deductible. Then little by little, that's been eroded. And this is the last one that is deductible.
Well, and what about cap gains? I mean, when we bought and sold our home in the 80s, we had to pay taxes on capital gain, and it wasn't to the level we are now. I mean, it was the poor guy ended up having to pay taxes on home equity that he had earned by holding a home, protecting his property.
If you are a married couple making $250,000 or less,
for married,
no, $250 income,
right?
I'll talk about the deduction.
Right.
You are protected up to $500,000, but the adjusted gross income has to be $250 or less to be able to do that.
Right.
And of course, if a single person, it's $200,000 or less adjusted gross income. Now, most realtors are really good at adjusting their income, by the way, because everything's an expense. I've noticed that they can be very creative.
Walk in my shoes, everything is an expense.
And then they get $250,000 exempt from capital gains tax.
Right.
And so, of course, under Obamacare, there's a 3.8% kind of tax. It's a capital gains tax.
Right. There's no kinda to it.
But beyond that point, not within that. So you're exempt up to $500 as a couple, $250 as a single person.
Right.
And if anything beyond that, congratulations, you just made a lot of money. Then you'll be subject to the Obamacare tax of 3.8%. People who are doing stocks and things like that, they're already paying it.
Right.
Because it's a capital gains. So it's really simple. So.
Another question came to my mind going back to what Christy was talking about before with the history of the home equity lending and how that all worked out. I totally get the 80%, so you preserve 20% of your equity. But I wonder, do you know the history of how they decided on the minimum $4,000 distribution because you can't take a home equity draw for $1,500 or $2,000. It's a minimum of $4,000, and I just wonder why that. Do you know how that came around?
I don't know the minimum because I was not involved in the industry at that time.
Well, like on a HELOC, a home equity line of credit.
A line of credit, that is correct.
You can't take it's $4,000 in Texas anyway. It's $4,000 is the minimum that you can draw.
I would think it's probably to protect you from ancillary fees from that and having coming $50 and actually having onerous fees on it. So they make it a very serious that if you're going to get that loan, you're going to at least start at that specific level.
Got it.
Again, it's not an ATM. Your home is like a CD.
It can't
not
be an ATM.
It should not be an ATM.
And I would agree with you right there. And like I said again, that's one of the items that truly protected most Texans during a terrible downturn that we had.
Well, there were folks in California, New Mexico, all of these states paying off 18% debt on credit cards with their home equity, but they kept charging on the credit cards. If it had been a one-time, okay, I'm debt-free now, but no, they kept borrowing against their home. And then when the values of the home plummeted, they were underwater and they had zero negative equity and they're still accumulating debt. It was a recipe for disaster for so many people.
Well, they actually had it that you could borrow 110 to 120% of the value of your property. I mean, how do you do that? Because appreciation is going to be there. Because you can't guarantee that.
Because
and so
even the
ridiculous.
banks are speculating.
Absolutely.
And anytime you have the word speculation in there, that means gambling, folks.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's so interesting that you bring that up because the Feds through Dodd-Frank coming. I'm going to protect America from lenders. They're the ones that created it.
Yes.
And then they did it.
Oh.
And then they come back and say, "Well, we'll fix it. We'll save you all." But they
we should have a show on Dodd-Frank.
on CFPB.
Well, I would tell you, you want to know what goes on. There's a movie out there, and it's called The Big Short. Go out there and watch that.
I am going to go see that.
And unfortunately, all the little guys, and I consider myself, all the little guys are the ones who absolutely got creamed on it. I mean, everyone came to the loan officer and said, da-da-da-da-da. The problem is they didn't realize all the stuff that was going on that high levels as far as what was going on. That is all the derivatives, all the credit fault, swaps, all that kind of stuff.
And then
there
were the foreign investors, like the German investors, who really thought they were buying grade A. Standard & Poor's.
China primarily.
Exactly. The credit agencies were just, the rating agencies were just.
Read the book, actually. I always say read the book. The book is fantastic, written by Michael Lewis, who did The Blind Side.
Yep.
Amazing reading if you're not in the industry.
We got a minute left here. What do you want to leave them with, Christy?
I want, Christy, what do you want to leave with, and how can they reach you if you don't mind?
Well, yes, you can reach me at, my website is ChristyBorden.com, ChristyBorden.com, cell 832-368-5953. And I just want to leave this with the consumer and the realtors out there in the audience that we are here to protect you. We pay attention. We just really appreciate your involvement and your interest in the PAC. And it is important now, and it will be important tomorrow as well.
I like to leave the show with a good quote. This one has to do about involvement. It says, "Embrace every good opportunity you encounter. Some will get you informed, others will get you inspired. Some will get you involved, and others will make you improved. You know, that's a really good one, what we're talking about today, especially about getting involved. Again, big shout out to Christy Borden right here, Rob Cook, Tim O'Neill. Obviously, we love TREPAC. We're going to continue to promote it. Until next time,
TREPAC loves the Rat Pack.
Absolutely. We are out.
You've been listening to the Real Estate Rat Pack. The Real Estate Rat Pack is ready to answer your toughest questions. So tune in to the really big show every Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on 100.7 The Word, KKHT.